Hello, church. So here is our devotional for this Thursday, March 19th, as we finish up Proverbs 17. We had a little bit of a pause yesterday because there was a funny phrasing specifically around the word bribe in verse 8. So let me do a little bit on that. And it's not to answer any questions because there's still there's certainly some question mark around it. You might have made the comment before when you were texting with somebody about texting not being able to convey tone. So it can be extremely hard to know, is this intended in a particular way? Is this a critique? Where is this coming from? Is the person being facetious? Are they being cynical? And I think that's partly why we have the contrast. So again, and we'll give you a couple of different versions. So verse 8 in the NRSV reads, "A bribe is like a magic stone in the eyes of those who give it. Wherever they turn, they prosper." I think the magic stone gives that a little different contrast. Peterson picks up on that sense of having a prism and in kind of the light that casts that on it. The flip, a different part, is the New International Version that's also included in the New Interpreter's Bible. It does use the word bribe again. A bribe is a charm to the one who gives it. Wherever he turns, he succeeds. So those two are fairly close. Here's Van Leeuwen's commentary on verse 8 specifically. Bribes are regularly condemned, not condoned, condemned in the Old Testament as a means of perverting justice. The parallelism in 21:14 shows that the line between what is a bribe and a legitimate gift could be difficult to draw. This verse, however, seems ironic because the bribe's success is assessed in terms of the briber's opinion, which could be quite wrong. So, while this saying may simply observe bribery in action, its more likely target is human blindness that does not see God, who takes no bribe. I'm sure that didn't clarify much of anything, but sometimes it's good just to muddy up the waters and get in there. Again, verse 8 in Peterson's The Message, which I'm going to have to find. Receiving a gift is like getting a rare gemstone. Any way you look at it, you see beauty refracted. A word on ambiguity. Sometimes scriptural ambiguity is the intention to make us think a little more deeply, to raise a question. I think back to our Psalm study and that word Selah, the thing that gives us pause and makes us do a little bit more reflection. So let's continue with our next part of Proverbs 17. And we kind of broke it right in the middle, stopping at verse 14. And this continues with verse 15. One who justifies the wicked and one who condemns the righteous are both alike an abomination to the Lord. Why should fools have a price in hand to buy wisdom when they have no mind to learn? A friend loves at all times, and kinsfolk are born to share adversity. It is senseless to give a pledge to become surety for a neighbor. One who loves transgression loves strife. One who builds a high threshold invites broken bones. The crooked of mind do not prosper, and the perverse of tongue fall into calamity. The one who begets a fool gets trouble. The parent of a fool has no joy. A cheerful heart is a good medicine, but a downcast spirit dries up the bones. The wicked accept a concealed bribe to pervert the ways of justice. The discerning person looks to wisdom, but the eyes of a fool to the ends of the earth. Foolish children are a grief to their father and bitterness to her who bore them. To impose a fine on the innocent is not right, or to flog the noble for their integrity. One who spares words is knowledgeable. One who is cool in spirit has understanding. Our concluding verse, and my favorite. Even fools who keep silent are considered wise. When they close their lips, they are deemed intelligent. If you haven't run across it before, a Mark Twain portion that I might misquote in this moment because I did not specifically looking up before sharing this is, it is better to, that took me a little bit. It is better to keep your mouth closed and have people think you a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. Yeah, all right. And then a little continued commentary from Van Leeuwen's reflection from yesterday. He talked a little bit about American individualism and then this familial context in the Old Testament that we have a harder time understanding coming from our given culture. Yet, from within Israel's collectivist culture rather than individualistic, Proverbs 17:2 asserts that there are realities more basic than family. Wisdom, godliness, and divine grace can override such natural relations. The stories that exemplify 17:2 often concern women. Rahab and Ruth are wise outsiders who enter the Israelite family at its messianic Davidic center. Grace regularly promotes younger brothers over their elders. Abel, Isaac, Jacob, David, and the nation Israel over its international older sibling, Egypt. And grace can break the power of canceled sin that binds one generation to another. In a wisdom speech equally as sharp as Proverbs 17:2, Jesus insists that discipleship is greater than family, and that's from Mark 3:31-34. For Paul, Christians are slaves who have become heirs and children of God by adoptive grace. Christians should thus neither underestimate nor overvalue the importance of the family. Individualistic Americans need to repent of their neglect of family. But for those whose families have been instruments of violence and abuse, the good news is that grace makes us members of God's family, even as it makes us new persons. From Romans 12. And to finish us off, here is some Eugene Peterson from The Message. Whitewashing bad people and throwing mud on good people are equally abhorrent to God. That was the abomination line. What's this? Fools out shopping for wisdom? They wouldn't recognize it if they saw it. Oh, and there's a little break from Peterson. Shoot, I missed that. And he entitles this section, One Who Knows Much Says Little, which was the verse we spent a little time on as they're going to finish it off. Friends love through all kinds of weather, and families stick together in all kinds of trouble. It's stupid to try to get something for nothing or run up huge bills you can never pay. The person who courts sins marries trouble. Build a wall, invite a burglar. Wow. A bad motive can achieve a good end. Double talk brings you double trouble. Having a fool for a child is a misery. It's no fun being the parent of adult. Just correct. Oh, way with words. A cheerful disposition is good for your health. Gloom and doom leave you bone tired. The wicked take bribes under the table. They show nothing but contempt for justice. Now, interesting little side note there. While Peterson chooses to stay away from bribe in that earlier verse and do a legitimate gift, here he uses bribe for his last section. The perceptive find wisdom in their own front yard. Fools look for it everywhere but right here. A surly, stupid child is sheer pain to a father, a bitter pill for a mother to swallow. It's wrong to penalize good behavior or make good citizens pay for the crimes of others. The one who knows much says little. An understanding person remains calm. Even dunces who keep quiet are thought to be wise. As long as they keep their mouths shut, they're smart. Woo! Alrighty. So that finishes off Proverbs 17. I hope you had a few nuggets in there that you might grab onto, and we'll be back with you tomorrow as we step into Proverbs 18. Have a great day, and we will see you then. Bye-bye.